You're listening to the RE Social Podcast with your hosts, Andrew and Vince from AnVi Invest. For more information, go to anviinvest.com.
Welcome to another episode of AnVi Invest, RE Social Podcast. We have a very special podcast for you today as we have got our first guest in our brand new rehabbed podcast room. Everybody say hi to Miss Linda Kim. Am I getting that right?
Yes.
Linda Kim, she runs some luxury rentals. She's got her own booking site. From what little spying I've done, I'm like, dang, I wish we could probably not afford her, but I wish we could afford her to do our stuff. It looks really, really high end. I was in fact looking at the San Clemente property you have and the ocean view. I'm just like, okay, that is cool. So anyways, I would love for you, we'd like to start this off with getting you to give us a quick intro on yourself, just like, a minute or two of just, your journey. What is it you do? And just tell the people who you are.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited about it. My whole career has been in tech and design, and it was nothing to do with real estate. So I didn't know I would end up here, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. I was in tech for a long time, and I just felt like I wanted to do something more and create something for my own where I wasn't prone to being laid off by if the market's not doing well. And one day I just kept seeing someone on social media promoting Airbnb mentorships. And I usually wouldn't take a risk to invest in something like that, especially because I didn't know what it was about.
Mm-hmm.
So it said, we're taking 10 students a month. Just send in your application. So I thought, okay, well, I probably won't get picked because he seems so high level, high end. And I just applied and he reached out and I did the interview and he said he wanted me to join. So from there, I just took a chance and did it. And one of the biggest investments of my life, I typically probably wouldn't have invested that much money, but something about my intuition was telling me to do it. So
nice.
Yeah.
So it's a coaching program?
Yeah. And so from that, I was still in tech doing my day job, started my business and mentorship. And then a few months after I started doing that, I got laid off with the whole tech layoff that happened. And I applied for jobs for a few months and then I realized I don't want to go back. So then I just decided to keep working on this business and it is now generating more money, working less hours than I did in my tech job at like senior level, designer, creative director. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Vince.
That's really cool.
We got a couple. Yeah. So we almost did a coaching thing as well, way back in the day. And I definitely, say go do it for sure. We did it the hard way, actually. Our journey was very different. Vince, I was thinking about that one we went up in LA. That same weekend where Kobe passed away. We were up there. What was that called?
I think it was with Clint.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, we never took that route. So that's interesting. What, if you don't mind sharing with the guests, who was the mentor? What was the coaching program?
Yeah, it
Anderson. That was it. Sorry.
Oh.
Was it Anderson?
Anderson Advisors.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, it's Chris Choi.
Chris Choi.
That's his name, yeah. And that's his handle too on Instagram.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And was it worth like all the money that you spent?
I personally believe it was. I think it depends on the person because a lot of people in that the class that I had didn't start businesses. So I think it really just depends on what you're putting into it. So
if you're actually applying the knowledge and the
exactly.
coaching.
Yeah, because
is it like a weekly call? Is it just one big workshop? What is it?
Yeah, it was a couple months of classes, like once a week.
Oh, I see.
And then you're just on Zoom.
Oh, interesting. And it's a group class?
Yes, yeah. So he'll pick like 10 students a month and then just teach us over Zoom.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm totally asking out of just curiosity, just because we are actually selfishly looking to launch our own coaching program as well, because we're sitting on all this knowledge. We've gotten really great results for a couple students already. And now I'm just like, it's sad that like there's all this real estate knowledge in his brain. And it's just like, it could change the lives of hundreds of people if they actually applied it. But yes, I'm selfishly breaking down like, what's that process like? How can we do that?
Yeah.
So it's one thing to have the gold. It's another thing to learn how to sell the gold.
Yeah, true.
Help people understand that's what we have.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And so was it specifically aimed at a certain niche? Because I know now you do essentially what I'm thinking, and I'm still trying to get to know what it is that you do, Linda, but it's luxury Airbnbs, luxury furnished rentals?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so was that program specific to that kind of niche and that model, or was it just real estate investing in general?
It was the Airbnb mentorship for
Mm.
arbitrage. So
Mm.
that was the specialization.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
But a
cool.
lot of people, I'm sure, you're familiar that they do it, with any kind of properties, apartments or
Mhm.
houses. He was more specialized in single family, more bedrooms, more bedrooms, the better,
Got
because
it.
more profit.
Yeah.
And then at a certain caliber of home.
Mm.
So that was his thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so he has them all over the world, a lot of luxury homes.
And so what you're doing is essentially like a kind of a copy of what that is, that
Yeah.
model and everything.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's so many people that teach it online.
Mhm.
Social media, there's so many people that are selling their mentorships. But
Right.
I think the thing about him that stood out was that his properties were on a higher level.
Mm.
And then I saw, his credibility and talked to him. And yeah.
Gotcha. And so you've got how many properties now that you're running through like a furnished rental?
6 right now.
6.
Yeah. In
Nice.
California and Texas.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How'd you choose those markets?
California, I started when I was just starting out because it was so close by.
Right. Your
And
backyard.
then because California has a lot of regulations, I wanted to go somewhere more lenient. So
Right.
then I just started Texas
Nice.
last year. Yeah.
That's cool. And so maybe I apologize if maybe I just missed some of the details. Can you walk us through like that journey? A little bit of like the play by play, maybe some of the failures along the way, like just a little bit of the story of how you went from tech to now 6, luxury furnished rentals.
Yeah. So tech, I was a creative director. I had a team of 6 people. And I loved my job, but with the layoff and everything, I also, before I got laid off, felt like I wanted to do more, make more money. I just felt like, do I want to do this for the rest of my life?
Right.
And so when I took the mentorship, I was really sold on the fact that I could make passive income. And seemed like at the time that I can make a lot more money, a lot easier.
What year was this? This is important.
Yeah. 2020, end of 2022.
Oh wow, so very
Yeah.
recently. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I would consider that very
Or
late into the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sure.
Okay.
Was it 2022?
So 2022, you took the class and then bought your first or started the arbitrage on your first rental. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
How long was that timeline?
Very quickly. So during the mentorship, there's one course where he teaches you how to pitch to landlords.
Nice.
And then he says, for every 30 phone calls, you'll get probably 1 yes.
Nice.
For every 10 person in person, you'll probably get 1 yes.
Nice.
But in the beginning, I just started calling because some of them I couldn't make it on time. But then I got 4 yeses in that first week. So then I
Wow.
thought on the phone. So then I just went and met with everybody.
How'd you curate that list? 4 yeses
Yeah.
in the first week is insane. Like
Yeah.
to come right out and hit like home runs like that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
Was
that.
it like your group? Was it friends?
No, it was just me. Well, we did our own cold calls.
So cool. How are you curating this list?
So you go to Zillow, and
Okay.
then he kind of teaches you what you're looking out for.
Gotcha.
But I was new, so I just kind of went off, what he said, and then just what I personally thought about
Gotcha.
the properties.
Went with your intuition.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
And then you just start calling, and
wow.
Yeah.
Just cold calling. Just,
Yeah.
Hey, this is Linda. What's up?
yeah.
Dang, I'm so lucky in that I've got a business aside from this where I've never had a cold call. And every time I get a door knocker or solicitor at my home, I'm just like, hey, I'm not your guy, but I respect what you're doing. Keep up the good fight. You know?
Yeah,
Like I never
exactly.
had to go that level, but that's amazing to just have that, like have the balls to just apply yourself. And I think that's something that separates those who are what I would consider losers and winners, if I can be so, borrow from Vince's language. You're just getting to know Vince, but he's really heavily into losers and winners. So anyways, you basically applied yourself. You started doing the cold calls. You got 4 yeses. You don't have to give away the whole thing, but what are some of the key ways that you're able to get those yeses? What can the audience take? Like just one nugget from Linda.
That's such a good question. I think just being personable and friendly on the phone, because obviously they don't know or they can't see you.
Right.
And when you're there, just keeping it, I guess you're really selling what the benefit is to them.
Got it.
Because obviously a lot of people always ask me, oh, but why would a landlord want to, give their property to you?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you trash the place? And so that's the main question I get.
Right.
But you're really selling them is that this is going to help you out because of
Yeah.
these reasons.
Of course.
We're going to clean it, multiple times a month.
Nice.
Something breaks, we're going to fix it. So that kind of
Nice.
thing. Yeah.
And so you guarantee a lot of things. You're
Mhm.
leading with value. You're leading with honesty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I tell my staff to do when I'm training them on sales calls. It's like, just this will change your life. And I did this 2 days ago with a new guy. This will change your life. But here's what you need to do. Every time you pick up that phone, you need to be thinking, how can I give this person value? Whether that's a sales call or not. Like if you just do that and walk into the world in a room that way, your life will change for sure. How
Yes.
can I give this room value? How can I give
Exactly.
Linda value right now? It's literally all I'm thinking about. Like how many times can I plug her thing and help her keep going and creating more wins on wins? So we got the first property. Walk us through maybe some of the mistakes you made and some of the things that happened. And you don't have to get into super detail, but I'm kind of curious as to what that process looks like.
Yeah, just setting up the first property.
Yeah,
once
just
you
how
get
does it work? So the
Yeah.
person said yes, and then
Mhm.
I'm sure you got to be running some numbers. There's some risk
Mhm.
there. What are the risks?
Yeah, so you do run the numbers beforehand.
Mhm.
That's kind of the information that you go into before you get on
Sure.
when you get on Zillow. And nothing's guaranteed, obviously, but I'm sure,
Right.
AirDNA,
Right.
yeah, such a great resource.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the occupancy rate,
Got it.
average daily rate, and everything, and then so once you get the property, you're pretty much just setting up at that point.
Mm.
And I was setting up my own properties because I was new, and I still do it now.
Nice.
Ordering your own furniture.
Mhm.
So then I'll hire taskers like from TaskRabbit to
Nice.
help put it together, and then you're pretty much set it up,
Okay.
and it takes about my mentor said about 1 to 2 weeks max.
Right.
Now I have it down to 1 to 2 days.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wait, you
I don't-
set up an Airbnb in 2 days?
Yeah.
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 My mind is blown
I know.
because that's all we've been doing for the
Uh-huh.
past 3 years. I've never. How is 1 to 2 days possible? Give us the secret sauce.
Yeah. I'm even shocked. And he was in Texas too, out of state. I was like, I would go down there and feel like, wow, I can't believe,
Holy
I
smokes!
didn't know anyone there. And
So are you buying the furniture like beforehand, putting it in
Yeah.
storage, getting it all ready, or is it all just like Amazon same day delivery, that kind of thing?
yeah, there's a lot of coordination. So I think what I learned before was that, so in the beginning, I would hire all these different people to set up the furniture.
Right.
And now I just hire one person
Mhm.
and then have everything tried to arrive on the same day.
Ah.
And yeah, so that's pretty much what I do.
You're one person that's like the project manager and hiring all this out, or
No, just like a different handyman like on TaskRabbit. So
wow,
yeah.
interesting.
So I'll spend my time ordering everything online and coordinating everything, and then try to have it shipped around the same day, fly down, and then have everyone ready to go.
Got it.
Hire cleaners to help set up too.
Yeah, nice.
And then we just knock it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Vince, you got anything?
Yeah, I've been writing down some notes. So I want to talk about the numbers a little bit, right? So the
Mhm.
first one you got was in Orange County somewhere
In LA.
in LA. Okay, give us the numbers. So the property itself. Do you own anything by anything yet, or no? Is you mostly doing arbitrage?
Arbitrage, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then it's much easier. So what is the numbers on, like, what did the guy give you? Like, I need this much rent, and then what are you trying to do and all that?
Yeah, so that property that I got, I still have it, and
Okay.
It's $5,000 a month,
Okay.
3-bedroom home.
So you have to pay the guy $5,000.
Yes.
That's your
month.
guarantee.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you do a 12-month lease or something like that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So he's renewed every year since.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you run your numbers to know what you're going to make? Are you on AirDNA or?
Yeah, AirDNA, but the goal is you want to make at least double the rent. That's
Okay.
just your goal.
And are you
Yeah.
paying all the utilities, or the guy pays?
I pay
Okay.
everything, yeah.
All
Gotcha.
right.
Yeah, so that's the risk, is you're like just taking this on,
Yeah.
guaranteeing the utilities paid
Yeah.
and all that. So yeah, and so you're using AirDNA primarily to run that data?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
But
how accurate have you found it to be? Like,
yeah, I think it's hit and miss.
sure.
Yeah.
Are
'Cause
you doing any like anecdotal, like you're actually on the app and like as a guest looking at surrounding competition as well, or no?
I do a little bit, but also I think it's subjective because I will my mentor has a lot of different mentees, and so
Mhm.
he's very familiar with industry. And he felt like the one I set up was one of the nicest ones in the area.
Nice.
So I think if you do that, you can
Yeah.
make a lot more money. So that's
It,
yeah.
sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
That's literally all we're trying to do. Real quick, I basically had been able to build this music school that is doing pretty well. And I'm thinking back on it. We've been like in the fight, like in the mud, like making almost no money in this business of real estate. I mean, you can argue there's, it's a time kind of a thing and there's some equity, I guess, but literally $0 since we started. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what could give us that edge? And just analyzing what was working with my music school. Well, it started with just me teaching guitar on a couch. Like that was my journey. I'm going somewhere with this. I don't mean to make this about me. Sorry. But I remember really going above and beyond. Not being, I don't want to say luxury, but like I would like everything when someone comes in, like I'm getting them can I get you a coffee? I'm like, I'm literally thinking of their entire experience when they walk in. And even when I had roommates, they'd be walking in and out with guests, and I would be like locked in and focused on them and just giving them everything I could, preparing, over preparing, sending homework, following up. Point is I was really going above and beyond. And I took that into the whole business model, which is I think why it's worked, despite all of my shortcomings. By the way, there are plenty, you guys. But I think I got away with it for so long because I just really was focused on that high end experience. Like if you walked in, I would break you down like, Linda, what do you love? What experience do you have? What kind of music do you like? Point is I decided we need to be putting that into ours. Because in our rentals, we were running real tight. We were in escrow for 6 years straight almost.
Mhm.
And so with what budget we had and what little money that we had raised, we did the best we could for sure. But just recently, we really decided to copy what it is that you're really talking about. Just go as high end as possible and just spend the money. We've had multiple conversations. We're like, oh, that's another 15 grand. Okay, we'll figure it out. But it's because of that. Like I understand that if you build it, they will come in a way. And that's what we want to do is we want to make it so nice that it's just like, and if I'm being honest, at the place where I live, I don't think you've seen it yet, but we bought a rehab. It's super nice. It's pimped out. Lighting is there, and everyone always wants to stay. In fact, just today, somebody reached out and said, "Hey, I would love to book outside the platform." I get that all the time. People are like, "Hey, I really want to stay longer." Almost every guest, and I realize it's because it's remodeled. It's nicer. It's like it's kept up. It's just got a lot more attention up front. And that's what I want to be copying. So when I saw your listings, by the way, you guys, Olive Gold Collection.
A collective, yeah.
I'm sorry, Olive Gold Collective. I apologize. Her Instagram, that's the website as well. Check it out now. You're going to be like, holy cow. Like it's super nice. Are you designing all that, by the way?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So is that part of the coaching? He's like, just make it excellent, spend the money, do the thing. Or does he even say anything about that?
That's a good point. He didn't really say that. He just said, "Oh, don't
cheap
if
out."
or like that, and if the house looks too old, then skip it."
So he kind of was
It's like
hinting
that
toward
kind of stuff.
and we've been punished on that on the old houses and just people
I've done
walking
one.
in.
Yeah.
So what's the oldest house that you've like?
Oh, I actually
done
that
arbitrage?
one I would have had 7, so that one I actually closed down. But
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
See that now we're getting hold on. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So this is one of my I think that's the second property I got, like early on.
Okay.
And that was one mistake that I made. So
Let's
it
hear
was
it.
older, and so I did do some touches on it, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But it also was in a zone where it was not technically allowed to do short-term rental.
Got it.
And so that's part of it too. Sometimes
Yeah,
you can't
sure.
control that.
Right.
If someone says something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But so I think I learned from that also that I'm not going to do properties that are older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year was that property?
Maybe like 1970s. It was a lot older. Yeah.
And not rehabbed or anything. Just still
it
like
looked
original.
okay, but I wouldn't get it now. Like if I saw it now, I would. Yeah.
You're already in a disadvantage, and we've learned that
Yeah.
in our properties. We've got one right now, just a rehab that's finishing up down the street. And what year is that property? I wonder. It's got to be like 60s or 70s.
60s or 70s.
Yeah. So same thing. And it's just like
Except for Unit B, I think that's like 2000.
Sure. Yeah, the unit there was a newer build. Which, anyways, but yeah, I realized, and Vince and I have talked about this. The bones are really important. People see it. People know it.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and you have that. There's a smell. There's a
Mhm.
look at the wall. Look at the old cupboards. Like, you know, we're looking at properties now, and if it's got these old dated like brown your mom's like cabinets, we're already like, no, that's another $5,000 right there. You know, that we got
Yeah,
to budget in.
exactly.
So that's
Hey, but
interesting.
Linda, going back to the numbers,
Yeah.
you got 5,000 for the you have to pay, and how much for the utilities? You're spending another $1,000, internet and
Oh,
all that.
no, probably less, maybe like 600
600. Okay,
ish.
and then what kind
Less.
of income do you bring on that property?
It's ranged through the years, probably about um 10 to 25,000.
Really?
A month in revenue.
Wait, let's see. Sorry, 5,000 rent. Um,
600 utilities, 56.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So like 10 to 25. That's a big swing.
Yeah,
So
because
You're saying per month.
yeah, but that was on the high end because last August it did really well.
What's the worst month you've had?
Um probably 5K profit.
Got it.
Yeah.
But profit? What? Your worst
Yeah.
month is 5K profit?
I mean, how expensive are these homes?
The rent is 5K.
No.
Oh,
Is it like a
They're like
multi-million
I think they're
dollar
like-
homes?
no.
What are they?
It was probably like $1 million.
That's it?
Yeah, they tore it down and did a
Oh, they did
brand new
it
build,
wrong.
but
Oh, I
it's not
see.
like a fancy, super mansion or anything.
Interesting.
3-bedroom home, yeah.
3-bedroom, like 2,000 square feet, maybe less.
Yeah, less than that, 1,700-ish.
Gotcha.
And then you
Yeah.
just have it like really pimped out, so people pay like $300 a night.
Dude, it's super high end. It's like
Yes,
it looks
sometimes 500 a night, sometimes more, yeah.
yeah.
You've been there? Oh, you just seen the
No,
listing?
just in looking
Yeah.
at her stuff, I'm like, dang, like every property, I'm like, okay, I need to be taking notes.
So how much money are you putting into that property? Like-
Per month?
Yeah, what's
or-
the budget to set
No,
it
no,
up?
like
Oh.
furniture. Like, are you
That's-
spending
Yeah.
50
Because we're
Yeah.
doing the math. I'm like, when do you break even?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. So I was taught, that we want to spend at least, I think about 3 to 4 times the rent on furniture. So let's say 5K for rent, then you want to spend about 20K.
20K. Interesting.
So that was my first one where you get all excited.
Uh-huh.
And so I think I spent almost maybe 25K, including
Got
all
it.
the help. So
With the labor and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Got it.
so
And
now I spend less just because I'm more experienced, but
Right.
yeah.
yeah,
and-
you get leaner.
Yeah, we spent about that in
Yeah.
Tennessee. We spent about 30K.
Okay.
But that
Yeah.
includes like TVs and stuff. You're not
Exactly.
doing that, right?
Everything, all the
Yeah.
supplies,
Yeah.
Everything,
paper
appliances.
towels. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Actually, that's lower number than I
Mm.
anticipated, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
For
yeah.
luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got a furniture contact through my mentor too. So that helped. And
Did they give you like a little kind of discount? What is that called? Consignment?
Wholesaler or
Wholesaler?
contractor discount.
yeah. I think they're just a furniture retailer locally. So then their
Gotcha.
prices are better.
Nice.
And I also have found a way to just try to find nice furniture that's more affordable.
Got it.
Yeah.
Can I steal one little tip from you?
Sure.
Is there a particular store, outlet, secret?
Oh, this
You-
place?
You don't have to give it away.
Oh yeah. Well,
Just like a
I
little
love
nugget.
working with them. So it's called Don't Pay Retail. Like,
Okay.
they're in Southern California.
Don't pay retail.
Yeah.
retail?
It's a that's like an international company, just a California company.
I think it's just based in California because
Okay.
I wanted to use them in Texas and they're not there. So.
It's all like what is it? All furniture. It's like fake
Mhm.
plants. It's couches, beds, all that, or what?
Yeah, I don't know if they have
Interesting.
plants, but they have all the furniture.
Sure.
So one thing I learned through that is that I love working with them, and also the delivery fee. They set everything up for you, which is amazing.
Oh,
So
wow,
you-
that's
I
really
don't even
good.
have to go to TaskRabbit when it's yeah.
That's all. It's built in.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Okay. And you're not paying retail. You're paying less than
Yeah,
retail, as in the
exactly.
name.
Yeah. So the delivery and setup is kind of included in the cost, but it's still pretty affordable. So
got it.
it's
Yeah, and you already know like that's just a pain to set all that up
Yeah.
logistically already. So if they're doing all
Exactly.
that in house, that's
Yeah.
like I'll pay for that.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Okay, so the first deal you go in, you start making 5-10K a month. So that's enough for you to quit your job then, right?
Yeah,
Just the first deal.
That's cool.
yeah.
That's really cool. Okay, so what happened? So now you had the money saved up already to invest, like 20-30K
Oh, into
to do all
the
the furniture and all that stuff.
so I personally had sold a home
Okay,
prior, so that's why I had
you
the
got the
money to
cash.
do
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
nice.
yeah, and in my mentorship because I was actually supposed to buy a home and it didn't work out, so I think it was meant to be. But that's basically where the money came
Okay.
from. Yeah.
So you start
Gotcha.
making money there, and then in a year you start looking at the second property, or you bought it like immediately?
Oh, the arbitrage.
Yeah, the second arbitrage.
From first
Oh,
to second, what's that
yeah.
timeline?
So So the main unit, the LA one, came with 3 units.
Oh,
So so I did all those.
so
Mhm.
5,000 each.
So there are 2 ADUs in the back.
Okay.
There are 1 bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the reasons he gave it to me was it was my first time pitching.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Well, if you take all 3, then I'll give it to you."
And so, what was the deal on all three?
So it was 2,500 for each ADU.
So, okay, it's 10,000 all in,
10,000 for all 3. Yeah.
and then you're
Gotcha.
making 25 a month in that.
Each ADU probably profits about, let's see, like 5 to 8K.
That's really good. And it was like a
Or-
really nice
I'm
area.
sorry. It's in Burbank, so it's not.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
nice, but it's not like a
Yeah.
Right.
So,
That's cool.
and your clientele is less than 7 days, or is it more than 30
Yeah, I was
days?
going to ask as
a
well.
short term.
It's all
Short
short
term.
term.
Typically, some long term too.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um,
And you're able to drive that kind of numbers, huh?
yeah. So from the beginning, I think going back to the whole like quality of the design is so
Yeah.
powerful because even though I was new and it was January, which is like a slow month, that's
Mhm.
when I started.
Mhm.
It was getting booked up and generating profit, from the beginning.
Yep.
So
Build it and they
even
will
to
come.
now, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
obviously, like too, that if you invest a little bit more in the nicer stuff or get a little bit more, it's just you're gonna make it back anyway. So
Yes. And it'll be less headache for management. And speaking
yeah.
of, are you managing all these yourself?
Yeah, so sometimes I want a property manager so I, have less to do.
Mhm.
But I don't have a property manager. I have a
Gotcha.
virtual assistant
Nice.
Sure.
that's overseas and
Yeah.
yeah.
So do we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nicole. She's the best.
Mm.
She does like literally more than half of what I used to do in AnVi 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I remember being like on a date, just the ocean, sunset, nice little dinner. We had a good day. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I have to take this call. Like this is an Airbnb guest that can't find the door or the code or the Wi-Fi, something.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I
exactly.
promise it's not some random,
Some random girl.
had many moments like that. So yeah, it's a kind of a nonstop grind. How do you balance your like life with that? Is there a certain, you on your listing say, hey, you can reach out customer service from this time to this time. I shut off my phone at 10, or you just have 24 hours. I got it. It's high end luxury. Like what's going on?
So in the beginning, when I had 4, I did it myself. I was
Mhm.
responding to everyone like you,
Right.
like you're doing something and then you have to
Yeah,
like, yeah,
just drop it.
yeah,
Yeah.
put a fire out.
Yep.
And being woken up at
Mhm.
2 a.m. or but then I got a virtual assistant once I hit started getting more properties.
Yeah. Nice.
So now they're working around the clock, 24 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you can afford it, which is awesome.
Oh, it's actually really affordable.
Really?
So yeah.
Can I just ask you what the hourly rate is?
Okay, so
You don't have to tell me.
I will.
'Cause I have one.
People are like shocked. So, well, the first team I started with was recommended to me through someone I met at a networking event.
Mhm.
So that was $600 a month
Mhm.
for a whole team.
The whole team.
Yeah,
That sounds. I mean, what's the hours though?
24 hours a day.
I mean, if they're not complete idiots, that's a deal.
yeah,
Wow.
24 hours a day,
Yeah.
7 days a week for
Yeah.
$600.
Yes.
yeah. They were based out of Pakistan. And,
Wow.
yeah.
And did they do a good job though? Like
They
that's the
did,
key.
but there were some things I wasn't. They weren't as strong. So then I went with a recruiting staffing agency, and then they found me 2 VAs
Ah,
from the Philippines.
okay.
So they do the same schedule, but
Okay. Gotcha.
so then they were being paid 2 people for 600 a month.
Got it.
But I think that is on the lower end now.
That's
so-
crazy.
Yeah,
Low.
yeah.
I cannot believe.
You still have that deal? You still
I
pay?
do, but I think one is she's amazing.
Mhm.
The other one we're still looking for the second one now.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's hard to find good help, and for
Yeah,
that
yeah,
cheap,
yeah,
especially
yeah.
like
So I'm gonna raise the rate because I didn't
Sure.
know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow, so just that one property with 3 units, you're paying 10,000 in rents and you're collecting roughly maybe
Like-
20, 25, 30,
Yeah.
and then you pay some expenses, but you're still cash flowing a lot.
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
that
crazy.
that one went very successful. So with that, I wanted to ask you, so you got the property, you found the areas, you did some math on like ADRs and stuff. Now, what did you do to the listing that you can claim this high amount of rents? Because there's got to be other properties in the area, and for a 3-bedroom, $400, $500 is a lot. We've never gotten $400, $500 a night and we have $1 million homes.
We have
Oh.
luxury new builds as well now. It's like
Oh.
all we do, which is when I met you a while back and it kind of like snooped on like what is it you do? I'm like, oh, we have a lot in common. You know, it's like she's
Yeah.
in that game.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of a matter of time. I was like, I hope to just get her in a good conversation.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's cool.
So tell us, Lena, give us your secrets.
All the secrets.
Oh, charging more?
You're like, what are you doing to the listing?
Yeah.
Like, how are you charging this? Because I'm assuming it's more than competition, yeah? Your
Yes,
competition?
yeah, it
So
is,
what are you
yeah.
doing to the listings that you can charge this? Do
Um,
you have like a jacuzzi and everything?
no.
What? What is happening right now?
Have you thought about investing in real estate and taking advantage of all of those benefits without any of the work? That is something that AnVi Invest not only provides, but has been providing since its inception. With friends and family, we have built an empire and a system of a wealth generating tool that is giving us and our friends and family that leverage in their life to create true wealth. Go to onviinvest.com for more to see if you qualify. And thanks for listening.
There's like a gravel backyard. Yeah. I think it's really the furniture and the design and
Mhm.
I already knew the answer. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the newer bill.
If you-
Is it all open floor plan?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So are you doing the design all of yourself? You're like
Yeah.
the visionary?
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, because I used to like interior design. I never went to school for it. I just liked it as a hobby.
Yeah.
And so this kind of all just came full circle
Love it.
because I had to set up my own property.
Right.
And when I was setting up, I was like, oh my, I just love this feeling of doing this. So now, and then I started that business.
Love that.
And now, designing other people's Airbnbs.
That's cool. So now that's
Yeah.
what you do on the side now?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, it's not off the table for us. We're pretty lucky that we have some some great people actually. But if it ever doesn't work out, you'll be the first call I make.
Oh,
So
thank you.
hopefully we can work out a deal. Because if you see her properties, you're like, it's
Yeah, I'll look at it. I
10 on
haven't
10.
looked at it anything. But I mean, we have Jenny now doing all the interior design.
She's doing a great
She's
job.
also Korean, so maybe that's the thing.
It's a Korean
You need to
thing.
hire
That's
all
really what
Koreans.
it
The
is,
Korean
yeah.
the design Korean connection.
Yeah. So she's actually helping us with the rehab in Santa Ana. So
Yeah.
we'll see how
Doing a
that
great
goes.
job. Shout out to
Mhm.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I started getting more clients for that, and then I set one up in Austin, Texas, and
Nice.
he started booking up right away too. So that was
Wow.
really awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Kind of giving back. And so I'm kind of curious, and feel free to just shoot away the questions or whatever you got to do. But you went from California for your first two, and I'm guessing something happened where like, okay, the regulation or whatever is annoying. I'm going to Texas. Is that the conversation you had?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can relate.
yeah, exactly.
We're in
Yeah.
Tennessee pretty heavy for a lot of it for
Oh.
that reason. We've lost into the six figures of income
Oh.
just due to squatters.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
In California.
In California,
Oh
of
wow.
course.
Okay.
And California government paid the tenant money for squatting.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
real-
not- this
that's
not a
actually
joke.
yeah. I'm
They
not.
wrote them a check for like $5,000.
We
They're
don't
like-
mean to make this our sob story, and you're our therapist right now, but that's kind of what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe as much information as you want to kind of reveal. But what were some of the things that happened? Where like, I'm out. I'm going to Texas.
I think I always knew I wanted to expand, not for those reasons, but it was always in the back of my mind. But it was really just getting, because a lot of areas you're under the radar.
Mm,
So many people do it.
hmm
But I'm sure you're familiar. Or it's harder to do like short term here.
Mhm.
And so then I started looking to Texas because I just heard, it's a lot more lenient there. And a friend showed me around, and then I looked at the numbers and felt like, okay, I think I'm going to try this one.
Nice.
And just I started calling around
Mhm.
one day at the airport. So I visited my friend. He showed me around.
What city? Sorry.
In
Austin?
Houston.
Oh, Houston.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
very random.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and then I was at the airport gonna fly home, and then flight got delayed. I started going on Zillow and calling properties, and then I got like a few agents to say, "Okay, yeah, you can do it." So left the airport, went to look at the properties, and signed it, and
You're about to hop on a plane
yeah, to go home.
to go home, and you're like, actually, let me just do a deal.
Yeah,
I love that. That's cool.
yeah. So then, and then I usually do my own, calling, but I just got lucky and ran across this agent that she's like, "Oh, let me talk to this person," and then we just formed a relationship, and so now she's looking for
Nice.
properties for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because you're creating a win-win, and
Mm-hmm.
now you've got experience, so those calls are getting probably even easier. It's like, well, here's what I do. Yeah, because you're solving that problem of just getting consistent rents, and you're solving the problem of all utilities and repairs. I don't mean to get into the weeds here, but what level of repairs? Like the roof gets blown away in a storm. Who's who's paying for that?
The landlord.
Okay, I figured
Yeah.
that. Like, what is okay? So for you, it's anything like damaging to the inside of the home, the normal wear and tear is what you're responsible
Exactly.
for.
Yeah.
Is there like a certain contract or a template that the coaching program gave you to have them sign for that? Is it just all
No.
like handshake, and like, I got you? I only
Um,
ask because I'm in California and I've been doing business here for a while, and I'm getting my face caved in because I don't do those little like, okay,
mm,
initial here. Like
yeah.
that's just one of those litigious
Well,
states.
it
So
sounds like capex. The landlords
yeah,
will cover it, and
right,
it's your house,
sure,
right?
sure,
So you're gonna want to do that,
right,
and anything repairs to the carpet, furniture, it's all you guys doing, cleaning,
nice,
Yeah, we
all
just
that.
put into contract.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
that's
that
cool.
seems pretty fair.
Wow.
Usually if you're dealing with like owners, business people, they're not gonna be dicking around too much. They're in the game. They know how it works, right?
It's
Hmm.
true.
Once you go beyond that, and you're gonna have
You're right.
problems.
Yep, you're right. Okay, so we're in our first two properties in California. Now we're
4 or
four, technically.
first.
Yes,
Yeah.
four.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. And now we're in Houston.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did LA were the first 3,
hmm
and then I did the one I shut down was near Disneyland,
Gotcha.
and then I got the San Clemente.
Got it.
Yeah, and
Tell us
just
then
about the
checking that one out. Yeah,
Sorry,
look,
tell us about the San
yeah,
Clemente
that's
one.
good.
What's the
yeah.
numbers on that?
So the rent is 5,500 now.
And it's a
4
three
bedroom,
bedroom,
4 bedroom.
4 bedroom.
Yeah.
Ocean
Wow,
view.
that's pretty good. Why you got a really good deal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And the numbers got to be crazy on that.
Yeah.
Like, come on. If I was that guy, like paying, like money's not a problem. Like, I mean, that's easily 20 grand a month
Oh, for the profit?
for for
The gross?
just the gross.
Oh, the gross. Yeah.
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 Is that about
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is San Clemente allow short term?
Certain pockets they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
you got the good pocket, or you're just doing under the table or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. And
Cool.
then, do you ever get like 30-day rentals or no?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably just less money.
Yeah, exactly. But typically it's their shorter stays.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you with, municipalities all kind of starting to crack down and all that stuff? Are you starting to kind of maybe consider shifting business models? Are you kind of seeing the writing on the wall? Or you're like, hey, I'm all good, like no problems?
Yeah, so that's why I went to Texas for that reason
Ah.
too. Because at least for now it's a lot more lenient and
Right.
yeah.
In Houston, probably
Yeah,
there's not a whole lot going
yeah.
on. You don't think
Yeah.
Houston is like a sexy market? but-
Exactly. And I would have
yeah.
never gone, but my friend just happened to live there. So
That's
that's
cool.
how it started.
So Houston, did I hear Austin as well or no?
No, I did design someone's Airbnb in Austin.
That's what I heard. Okay, so
recently, yeah.
what was the next? Oh no, how are the numbers working out in Houston though? I'm trying to sorry, we're jumping
Oh.
around here.
Yeah, it's doing really well.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, because I opened in December, which is
Gotcha.
slow,
Right.
and it got to 70% occupancy in the first week.
Wow.
Got a booking in the first day that I listed.
Wow.
Yeah.
And are you having to kind of rebuild Rome, as it were, with every new market? So Houston, you don't have all your normal contacts, your cleaners, and all that. So you got to do it all from scratch. Am I wrong?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I never knew anyone there. I just felt like, I don't know how I could do this. And so I didn't do it for a while because, you're just thinking it feels so overwhelming. But once I did it, I realized how easy it was. And so um, I found a cleaner through I think my real estate agent,
Ah,
got a contact, and it just happened to work out.
nice.
I went to TaskRabbit for the setup,
Ah,
and
okay.
then that's one thing I learned is that I hired more people at once to come at once to get everything done faster.
Ah,
As
yeah.
before, I didn't do that.
Right.
I'd hire 1 or 2 people, and then
Sure.
yeah,
You're just all systems go.
yeah,
Get it done.
yeah, get 5 people,
Yeah.
and get it done, and
That's cool.
and
This is kind of a random thought, but do you ever work into the deal when you're making that agreement with the property owner? Hey, give me 2 months of just rent free, excuse me, for the first 2 months of this contract so I can just get it done, get some money generating? Or is it just the second you sign the deal, you send them $5,000 because that's what the rent is? How does that work?
yeah, it's pretty much sent right away.
Gotcha.
The money, yeah,
Because
the
the pressure's
deposit.
on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I might
Interesting.
say oh, can I, start the lease, 2 weeks from now.
Right.
But,
Wow.
yeah.
That's it. You get 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. You're nailing that. So you're probably able to cash flow right away because you've got all the systems in
yeah.
place. Okay.
Yeah, because my mentor taught us speed of implementation. So obviously the faster you get, do something, the more you're gonna make.
Yeah.
So that's why I set it up so fast now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Move quick.
Hmm.
I was just watching a Jeff Bezos interview where he was like, he contributed that exact kind of quality of the whole company as a
Hmm.
big, marker of their success. Is we just
Mm.
move fast. We make decisions fast. We don't overthink it.
Mm.
If we make a mistake, okay, well, we address that and we move on.
Exactly.
But yeah, you got to move quick. Money rewards
Yeah.
those who are moving.
Exactly. Because there's a property in Houston I wanted,
Hmm.
and I was traveling somewhere else for a trip, more personal. That week that she was trying to lock, she gave me the property, but I had to sign it, and I could have gone out of my way to go, find some Wi-Fi, but I didn't because I was out hiking.
Hmm.
So then someone else took it. So then, this is exactly why you need to be on top of it.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vince, are you
Hmm.
thinking more numbers?
No, I was just thinking, so when you're going into a market, are you doing anything else other than AirDNA? How are you picking a market? You're deciding to pay 5 grand,
Hmm.
How are you doing that?
Um, so it really is AirDNA, and then I'll go to Zillow and look at the comps, and then I'll go to Airbnb and see the active listings and see um what people are charging,
Yeah.
how full is their calendar, and then do the
Right.
market that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
'Cause
want to, yeah.
you're combining like the raw data with like well, let me take a look, the anecdotal kind of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Reading the Jeff Bezos letters, it's a book that actually that was like the biggest lesson I got from that.
Oh.
That's what made their company so successful as well, was they would take a lot of the raw hard numbers, and then of course they would kind of marry that with just the anecdotal feedback from guests, and I'm sorry, from clients,
Mm-hmm.
and customers. And how he discovered that was, um, the data was showing that it was like A plus, great customer service, super quick, everything's great. He's like, yeah, but it's like it doesn't seem like that. There were some numbers there was something that was off, and he just kind of
Mm-hmm.
knew it. So he calls his own customer service line. He's already a multi-millionaire, maybe a
Mm-hmm.
billionaire at this point. He calls his own customer service line, Jeff Bezos does, and he's on hold for like 10 minutes. And and then the customer service was terrible whenever that they finally answered the phone, and that was like, okay, so you need to test both. That's the lesson in that, and that's something that we definitely do. Is we're looking at, here's what the numbers are saying, but let's also like take a peek at the competition. For me, I've gone so far
Mm-hmm.
as when we were in the Mentone market, I actually called other owners. I would just
Hmm.
ring them up and I was just like, hey, I'm looking to maybe like invest out here. And most people just like, once they find out your competition, they just kind of like shoo you away. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you get someone who's cool and like gives you a handyman contact, a cleaner contact, an idea of what the area is like, the regulations. So, I mean, sometimes picking up the phone and being a nice person and just saying, hey, you know, I'm Linda. This is what I'm looking to do. Can do a lot of magic. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next for you, Linda? So you got San Clemente, LA. There's four. The one in Houston. You bought one more in Houston.
Oh, two in Houston,
Two
yeah.
in Houston, and they're
nice.
both doing what? You paying 5 grand. You making 10 grand.
4 grand. One's a 5 bedroom
Oh,
for four
wow,
grand. Yeah.
that's
So
pretty good.
obviously
Hmm.
it's a lot cheaper there. And then the other one's for 4 grand.
4 grand, and then
Yeah.
it's still making double.
Yeah, minimum, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's cool. And then are you implementing all the Wi-Fi locks with Schwaz or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
brand? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Schlage.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. Is
yeah.
that how you set that
Yeah.
up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're just now getting to that point where like, yeah, we got to start just doing the
Oh,
Wi-Fi thing every time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're always behind because we have too much going on, and capital is a big thing for us. So
Yep.
I'm
Mhm.
always only putting out fires first. So it's like if you wanted to be on your level, I gotta like not buy more properties
Yeah.
and then
Mm,
just spend money on the
And
properties
that's
we
the
have.
difference between what you're doing and what we're doing,
mhm.
is we're like, we're raising capital and we're putting our own
Mm,
capital into these properties to first buy them.
mhm.
So right away, like, that's a big commitment and a big
Yeah.
chunk, and, I like that it's, like, fixed rate, so you know what your expenses are overall. But yeah, so for us, it's a much crazier game, in my opinion. You're doing this really neat, like, quick, get the skill set, and just start getting deals, 'cause now it's like a copy paste formula, you kinda have
Mhm.
it down.
Yeah.
So what's the
Yeah.
next deal? What are you, like, in conversation with somebody? What's the next thing?
Yeah, so my agent found me another one in Houston. And
Nice.
so the first one I set up recently has profited the most I've profited out of any other property.
Which property was this? Houston?
Houston, the newest one,
The
yeah.
5 bed?
Yes, that one.
Interesting.
And it's funny because I, was delaying going there
Mhm.
because I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do it outstate. And then it turns out to be, the most profitable so far.
Wow.
So
Why do you think that is?
yeah. So I think it's really also because it's 5 bedrooms. A
Mm.
lot of the competition doesn't have that many bedrooms. And then the design, obviously, and location.
Right.
Yeah.
We were just kind of
You don't have
having-
any 5 bedrooms.
we were just talking about that
Mm.
though in the Nashville market. I think we have a couple conversations where we're like, if we could find something above, 4 bedrooms,
Mm-hmm.
like there's no one has anything out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
immediately it puts you into this different category.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Well, I think we just got a 4-bed though,
We have a 4, yeah.
Which is-
we converted.
right?
Mm,
Which is
mhm.
like the most
Yeah.
that we've done. So
Yeah. So more
interesting.
bedrooms, the better, obviously.
More bedrooms better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
On
probably.
your niche.
The price per square foot also goes down as well. So
Interesting.
you're not really paying that much more.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then if you can't get the 5-bedroom price, you
Right.
can just get the 3-bedroom
Yep.
price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because
Okay.
everybody will get the 5 for the 3-bedroom price.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
So
awesome.
we're going to be doing another deal, you said, in the Houston area. Your
Yeah.
best properties, the 5-bed, okay. Was there anything else that's exceptional about that besides the simple there's 5 bedrooms? Is there anything else going on in that property? Is there a pool or what?
No amenities like that. I
Interesting.
think it's the design and the number of bedrooms.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And the newest deal, what are we looking at? Something else in Houston, you said?
Yeah. My agent sent me another. So actually, the other one was a 4-bedroom with a loft, like an open space upstairs. I
Cool.
converted that to a bedroom to make
Got
it 5.
That's literally
So
what
that's
They put in
another tip.
walls and stuff.
It was a loft, so it wasn't closed off, but it was still like a big space. So then I put a bed in there.
Can you
and-
not abuse our microphones,
Yeah.
please? She's getting very
She's a
I'm
violent.
getting
microphone
very
abuser.
passionate.
With her caffeine-free, sugar-free soda.
Zevia, super
Brought
healthy.
to you by.
Brought to you by Zevia, orange.
Zevia, if you're listening, we would like sponsorship.
Please. Just a free case a month. Like, we'll take it. My mom loves the Zevia stuff, which is great because she used to be addicted to Dr. Pepper. So very happy.
They have Dr. Zevia.
Doctors, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
All right, so what else is going on?
Yeah. So Houston.
Tell us.
I want to go to Dallas, and then I'm going to Arizona, Scottsdale soon. Next week actually,
Nice.
to scope it out. And,
Love it.
I've been to Scottsdale a couple of times, and it's nice out there.
Love
Yeah.
Scottsdale. Yeah. I went out there randomly. I was actually playing a gig in Phoenix. And I drove out and I just like, you know what? I want to go check out Phoenix and I want to check out Scottsdale and kind of so I do the same thing when I'm somewhere. I'm always kind of on Zillow, like snooping around, just looking.
Exactly.
For me though, I wasn't really able to see a whole lot of opportunity in Scottsdale specifically,
Mm,
but with your model, with like this
Oh.
high-end luxury model, that probably makes a little bit more sense.
yeah.
I almost wondered to compare business models with like ours to yours, like how realistic it would be to like if our expenses were $5K a month, like could we actually double it if we went really high end on the furniture? If we could like learn something from you, like I don't know. But we're doing a pretty good job already in Tennessee. Like I'll have you maybe look at our properties after this.
I think it's worth the shot. Definitely Puerto Rico for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe Maine.
Right.
But I mean, Tennessee, it's already like pimped out.
It is
You
pretty
cannot
pimped
do
out.
anything else.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. We're very lucky that we have a wonderful realtor who is a rock star of rock stars.
But we're not doing STR. We're going for MTRs because I don't want the management.
Oh,
Yes.
that's what everyone says.
Yeah.
But,
But once you see when you tell me you're making 20 grand, I might like, all right, I might
Yeah.
quit my
it's
job.
worth it. Yeah.
We might just try it. Like
I'm not making 20 grand in my job. I have 1,000 patents.
He does.
Like I'm making nothing compared to what are you making in one property?
In one property?
Yeah.
So I looked at my numbers for last year.
Give us the numbers. What do you
So it
got?
was-
Are you a millionaire? Tell us the
Not
truth.
yet.
Not
Just
yet.
kidding. So it was 2 single family homes and 2 ADUs, which are only 1 bedrooms. It came to $375,000 for gross.
That's
Wow.
how much
Just
you
off-
made last year?
Yeah.
Oh,
great.
because last year you didn't have the other stuff.
Yeah, I
Right?
opened it in December.
Yeah, okay,
so
that
it's-
makes sense.
Nice. We're moving
Yeah,
fast.
that's pretty good. You're probably paying like 40% income tax, right?
Well, a lot of it goes to write-offs too.
What are you
Um,
writing off?
The furniture.
Oh, that's
and,
true. Yeah, yeah,
She's
The
doing it.
rent.
Cost
Yeah.
seg and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we'll hit you with ownership soon.
Yeah.
I want to. Do you have any other?
I actually
questions?
was just about to
Because you won't pay taxes if you own
so-
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really kind of part of the why for us. So really, it's interesting in that we are very similar in what we've been doing for the past year or two, and that like we just buy the new builds. We're just like getting it done as high end as possible, as close to luxury as you can get with the budget we have. Similar budget, in fact. Um, and so very similar in the past couple of years. However, we're complete opposites in every other way. And that for us, it's about assets. It's about building wealth. It's about holding the property
Yep.
and like making money in your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so for you, it's all like, being very active and running an actual, which is what it is as a business. Do you have any aspirations to try to, all right, well, maybe I'll buy the next deal? Like you probably got enough cash flow, not to
But
like,
to get another one?
not to call you out, but like, when are you buying a property?
Oh, yeah. So I've been talking to my mentor about that too.
Mhm.
And so because we were advised to not buy until we got to a certain
Nice.
point.
Okay.
That makes
properties?
sense because
Yeah.
you're making
Yeah.
cash.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You have
But
a
I do
proven
want
concept?
to. Yeah.
Okay. And
Um,
what would that be? What would that look like?
Oh, to buy a property?
Mhm.
I think I just have to do my research. Definitely not in California, but
Yeah.
maybe Texas, Arizona.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I live here and I would agree with that.
Yeah.
sentiment.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also on top of the fact of so you didn't want to open or do the arbitrage or the short-term rental because of the commitment of management.
Just
but
the management.
yeah, so it takes about I would roughly like 5 hours a week ish, because I have virtual assistants. So you can
Mhm.
be pretty passive.
Mhm.
Um,
So,
Well,
so
also we also have the same problems with the counties and the cities with the short term too as well.
Right.
HOAs a little bit.
mm,
Yeah,
mhm.
we have a couple in Placentia where short term is allowed.
right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I guess Gallatin we have that's allowed. HOA is a little tricky, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of part of the reason why. It's just
Mhm.
to like not have to worry about that, about anyone like
Yeah.
the Karens calling and all of a sudden it's a
Yeah.
problem.
Exactly.
But also part of it is the passivity of it, of just like having to,
Exactly.
because we're so busy with our other stuff.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but you've got all these properties. It's all short term. 7 units total.
6 now. Yeah.
6 now. Yeah, right. So 6 units total, all mostly short term. So very active. But you do have a virtual assistant team that's 24 hours right now as we speak.
Mhm.
Okay. And so for you, the active level on the management is 5 hours a week.
Roughly, and that comes in the form of they're doing all the communication.
Ah.
But if they have problems, or they
Right.
ask me questions. It's really that.
Yep.
That's kind of more sporadic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll then use my time. I'm building, the design business, and starting the coaching program because I get so many people asking me, what I do, how do I
Mhm.
do it, and
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd be thinking the same thing. Wow.
Okay, so just to recap what you've told us, and for the listeners who are listening, what I wanted to do now is, for people trying to always like, oh, I don't know how to get in and do all that stuff. So I don't know if you guys have picked up, whatever Linda is doing has almost very little chances of failure because she doesn't own the property. So she could literally be like, nah, I don't want to pay rent and just leave. That's it.
True.
For us, we'll probably end up in bankruptcy and like lose
Mm.
everything because we own the properties, right?
Mhm.
So that comes with the added risk. So
Yeah.
if people starting to start and they're like, oh, I don't know how to do it, arbitrage is a very easy way. You can even you can get like someone to give you a house, just pay them market rents, and you can try to do this, hustle and do that. That's definitely cool. Would you agree? Like,
Yeah.
was that the easier way for you to start? You're like, you don't have to freak out about $1 million loan,
Yeah.
Mhm.
True.
right?
Yeah.
It's $5,000.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
cares?
And you
Yeah.
put something in the contract too that if you terminate, you pay 2-3 times the rent. So that's basically what you're losing.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's not that much.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Compared to
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very low risk.
Yeah.
Especially with the margins that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you hear a lot of rumors too. People ask me, oh, well, I heard that market is dead and it's hard,
Mhm.
but I think if you're focused on yourself and you're doing the things that you're supposed to, like emphasize design, picking good location, I think you'll be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why real estate is so fascinating. So we control over $10 million of
Mm.
assets, and we both have high income jobs. And I want the listeners to understand this. We made less than Linda last
Oh
year.
wow.
Yes.
That is insane.
Wow.
Now, we're not talking about, we're assuming we made zero in real estate and equity.
Mhm.
We get a lot more in equity.
Sure.
But cash in hand to go buy your next Porsche, we did not make 375K. We gross 750 a year, but we also spend 800 a year. So we're not making anything, right? So that's just very interesting to see you don't own you own zero real estate. You're literally cold calling, getting people like us to give us our properties, and you're making more than us. That is insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So I'm glad we got her on the podcast. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, well, I'm definitely learning some things and kind of taking some thoughts into account about like,
Yeah, we'll chat offline too. Maybe show us some of our portfolio.
Mhm.
Now here's the kicker. You making 375. What are you doing with the money? We're
Oh.
gonna spin it on you now.
Well, some of it's going to expenses.
Okay,
but
that's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, but still, like,
Let's just say you spend
yeah,
100
yeah.
grand in expenses. You're still having 200 grand.
yeah, working, yeah.
Yeah. So you have it
Um,
cash saved up. You put it in stocks. What do you got going on with your investing?
I do a little bit of that, but also I'm just trying to open more properties so I can scale and just
So
make
you're spending
more.
like a lot more on that.
Yeah,
Nice.
putting it back into the business. To
Right.
make more
Okay.
money, yeah.
That's awesome. What money do you need in the business though? It's just
You
like
need nothing. You need like 30 grand, right?
30 grand.
For a property?
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly.
You could probably
yeah.
save that in
That's
like 3
not-
months.
That's like the leanest startup cost of any business I've ever heard of.
You know how much
Yeah,
it
it's
costs
crazy.
for us to buy? We just bought a property in Tennessee. It was $475. Do you know how much money I needed for that? Yes,
100?
like 200,000 in cash.
Oh.
That's insane.
Oh, not for the down payment.
Down payment 25%, and then rehab and everything is like 40.
Oh.
Not even
Rehab,
rehab, just
furniture,
furniture and stuff.
Yeah.
labor,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
getting it set
okay.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was close to that much.
So we're just playing a very different game in that we're
Mhm.
really looking at the equity play, the long-term
Mhm.
play. Now, granted, it's because we do both have jobs that we enjoy. You know,
Mhm.
I genuinely enjoy the school. He genuinely enjoys his engineering job. So it's not like we're burdened, like, oh, we like, I
Yeah.
like what I do.
Yeah.
You know,
You know, we have 2 Asians. You at least one has to do math. Like
One's-
that's the rule. You know. So I'm doing
slowly
it for
catching
now.
up to the
Yeah.
math.
You don't have to, as long as you have an Asian in the
Oh,
company.
thank God. Always get yourself a Vince. Every team needs a Vince. Well, wonderful. I think we've really
Yeah.
got a deep dive. I definitely extracted a lot of goodies out of you, so thank you, selfishly. I want to turn it around on you, Linda. Is there anything you want to ask us? Anything you're curious about? Like anything?
What market do you feel like performs the best for you guys?
We definitely we're outside Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
We like that, but remember, we have 70% of our portfolio in California,
Okay.
and a lot of them are in Orange County.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
So we joke around saying that we don't make a lot of we actually don't make any
It's
money
true.
at all.
Zero cash.
However, our equity position
Mhm.
in the company, for us and our partners, roughly goes up by like 40-50 grand a month.
The equity?
The equity, that's how
Okay.
much it goes up every
Oh,
month.
wow. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's
Wow.
for the whole company.
whole-
It's not just like
Oh,
us.
got it.
I don't make like, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but we own half of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so half of it. So that's the game I'm playing.
Mhm.
I would say I went a little too heavy-handed on that, and because of that, there's no cash flow.
Mhm.
However, you won't be able to catch me in like 10 years because we'll be like insane. Yeah. So, but for
Mhm.
10 years, we need to keep going. So I got a slave at my work, and he's got to teach guitar. So right. So we
Yep.
got there's pros and cons, but I do like your strategy. So do you have any other questions that will help you? Because I want to
Yeah.
get you on the investing game, because I can. So for example, you're making 375, let's say, right? You're going to be paying, let's say you're showing 200K in income, you're still paying 40% in California. You're
Yeah.
single, no kids, married, like, so that's how much you pay. However, if you bought one property a year, we can show you how to wipe it down to almost nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you
wow.
need to own stuff.
Okay.
Others, they won't
good
give
to
you that.
know.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
how many what percentage of your properties do you Airbnb?
We have half the portfolio.
Half?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
About 50%.
Short term too, or?
Yeah, we have some short term.
Okay.
Yeah. But we mostly try to do 30-day plus.
Mm.
And we like to fill in the middle with some short term so that we don't
Mhm.
lose money,
Yep.
because it costs a lot. It costs us 60,000 a month to make to break even. So
Oh.
if we don't bring 60,000 every month, we lose money
For
So-
the Airbnb.
for everything.
Okay.
For everything,
Whole
our
portfolio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty expensive.
Yeah. And how much do you feel like the Airbnbs are profiting pretty well with the mortgage and everything? When you own a home?
Because we're so lean, not really.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
If we
would
are honest.
say, overall, if it's like fairly booked up at normal market rates, we're breaking even.
Oh,
you know.
okay. Yeah.
But we haven't tried your strategy. we are just starting to do that. We have kind of seen that with Paularino, where it was bringing in like thousands of dollars. It's another home down the street. It's also like a $1.5 million home. Even that, if it is pimped out, it does make money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
But if we did buy it, a couple of years ago, it's fixed at 6%.
Mhm.
This house is at 4%. All these houses we won't be able to buy today. It's just it's gone up by $1 million.
Oh wow.
Like
Yeah.
just these two houses, we can't. Like
Mhm.
it's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess. But that's a good strategy to implement. I wanna look into that. We actually it's funny that we got her here because we just started doing that this year.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's interesting. Like the timing of this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of like really just had that heart to heart, and we're like, dude, let's just figure out the money later, but we need to like really upgrade
Yeah.
our stuff, because
Mhm.
it's either that or sell,
Mhm.
and we
Yeah.
did try to sell a few things last year, and we're just getting like the most ridiculous offers, like way under. And this is in Orange County.
Oh wow.
Granted, the market was really weird last year.
Yeah.
It was just no one knew what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
But we were like mad. We were emotional about it. Like, this is $1
Yeah.
million home. What is wrong with you? Like even appraisers coming in and just like it was bad. So
We did
that-
sell one in Bakersfield. We
Yeah.
bought for 190 4
Mhm.
years ago. We sold it for 390.
Mm.
4 years.
Yeah.
And we took that money to Tennessee.
Oh.
put it
okay.
right back in the business.
To buy properties in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Near Nashville.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not in Nashville.
No,
Is there a
we have
reason
nothing
why?
in Nashville.
Okay.
We usually don't buy in prime
Oh,
area. We go outside of it,
Mhm.
especially if you're trying to learn stuff. So that's I don't know if you know Kai. He's on he talks about Airbnbs too. He's on online, but he calls it the onion strategy or whatever. But I didn't know the name. I was just doing it. We started in Bakersfield because that's all we can afford, right? And then we moved to Inland Empire. But the prime is always Orange County. So now we own stuff in Orange County. We sold off everything in Bakersfield. So
wow.
maybe we're outside of Nashville, but we might go into Nashville if we get more and more comfortable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's been
Yeah.
great. It's like this, it's about 15, 20 minutes away from Broadway.
Mhm.
And it's just done really great for us. It's definitely some of the best cash flow we've done. But granted, we're doing your business model more or less,
Yeah.
with the exception of the short term. It's mostly midterm, and that we're like really taking our time with our furniture, trying to just make it as nice as we can, just spending the money up front
Mhm.
and buying properties that are in growing areas. So we really don't know like for sure the appreciation rate at this point.
Mm.
Obviously, you can look at data and you can, well, it's probably this, but we actually haven't got anything reappraised or sold or even listed since we started. So
Yeah, we've only been there less than 2 years now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
So we
But-
just started in 23 August.
Mhm.
We bought 3 in 23, 2 in 24 properties.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably buy a couple this year. But we ask this question to the people who come to our meetup, but we want to ask you is if you had one question to buy your next property, what can we answer that'll get you going to the next step?
If I was to ask you.
Yeah, it's just this
we're-
is for you.
we always like to say, how can we help you to
Mm.
get into the game?
Mhm.
And that is, owning the property.
Oh.
Like, is there a sticking point? Is there like
Yeah.
a hole in your knowledge
Yeah.
base?
It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with us. We're not asking you to
Yeah.
invest with us. We don't care.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
for you. Yeah.
How easy would it be to purchase a property? Is it like 20% down? Is it?
If you're going to live in it, you
Yeah.
don't need even any money, like 5%.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh.
Yeah.
What if
If you're going to
What
live
if
in
you're
it.
going to buy it and put it on, Airbnb, and you're not
Uh,
living in it? Is that
Give her
fair?
the answer that
I'm
we
going to
need
give you
to
the PC answer.
Yes.
Okay.
You intend to live in the property for 12 months after you buy the property. Now you got married, you got a triplets, and you can't live there.
Mm.
You're not going to go to jail, right? Because things change. You know,
Okay.
you went to hospital. You can't move to Houston. What are they going to do? You can't do anything. But you can't do that every 3 months. You're
Mm.
definitely getting mortgage fraud for that.
Okay.
But you could buy one for 5% down in Houston, and you went and you lived there for 3 months, and then you don't like Houston. You move back here. That's totally fine because you
Oh.
intended to live there.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Okay.
So you could buy a property, live in it for a year,
Mm.
buy the next house next door to it, and you can buy that again for 5% down.
Okay.
So for you,
Okay.
that's what I would recommend.
But of
Okay.
course, you understand that the less you put down, the more you're responsible for
Yeah.
a loan every
Yeah.
month. So there's
Yeah.
that game. We've been playing that game forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Started off.
It started out
cool.
with 5, 10, 12, 15. Now we put 25.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just eases the pressure on the monthlies.
Yeah, yeah, I
more than you
agree.
think, so,
Yeah.
but we do have to give away more equity. So that's a, it's a
Mhm,
trade-off. So,
mhm.
yeah. So yeah.
That's it. How can people reach you? How do they find you on Instagram or book your listings?
Yeah, well, I have my links on Instagram, Olive Gold Collective,
Nice.
and yeah, and I'm starting a coaching program as well, and I also design, Airbnb, so it's on the Instagram.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody wants coaching, just DM you on Instagram.
Hmm.
Cool.
Love it. Thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you.
Appreciate you finally letting me kind of pick your ear for a little while, and hopefully you got some value out of this. I definitely got some value out of the conversation. So thank you again for your time. Everybody, thank you also, whoever's listening at this point. If you've been listening to this whole thing, you should probably consider getting coaching yourself. That is something that Vince and I do, and I highly recommend. Obviously, Linda here is a product of exactly that, and her life has changed. She's cash flowing like crazy. But if you want to get into the more the owner side, asset side, and really start to build generational wealth and eventual financial freedom, please reach out to us. The email that you want to reach out is vince@onvinvestments.com. And just put in the subject line coaching and start asking questions. We do not take a lot of students. I'm open to maybe 2 more, and we probably won't accept you if you're not already like at least researching and making moves. So do not reach out if you're not already making moves. Anything last final thoughts, Vince?
That's it.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I don't know about you, but I definitely like to see 5-star reviews on any service or any product before I purchase. Please take a second to leave us a 5-star review, whether you're listening to it on Apple, iTunes, or Spotify, or whatever platform. Take a second, goes a long way, helps us a lot to grow the channel, and thanks for listening.